Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm Yann. I'm joined with Gaz and Mabbsy as we continue our infinite steamroller of content commemorating and trying to avoid and perpetuate and keep Goodison alive as we... Oh, no, I've said it there. We're saying goodbye.
We're not... Goodison's got to be kept alive. Goodison's not dying now, is it? Let's be honest.
And welcome to Gaz from the Everton Heritage Society.
Right, so what I'll do is obviously we'll talk a bit like Gaz and what he's done with Everton Heritage, and then a little bit about his GoFundMe. Then we'll move on to the Goodison thing. So Gaz, if you don't know, has been on Twitter, absolutely loads, on Facebook. He's been doing loads of charity work, raffles, and the like.
Oh, you didn't tell me about to promote. You're doing more charity stuff. It's excellent. It's
no, he hasn't. He's just been. That's what he's been doing. What I talk about St. Luke's, give it one last pub, one last go. You know. So as I say, he did a walk from Goodison to Wolverhampton for the game a few months back. So are you okay to go from me and what the latest for St. Luke's is and stuff like that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you, and thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it. But yeah, so for St. Luke's, been doing it pretty much most of this year basically, and it's been full on. Yeah, there was the walk from Goodison to Molyneux, which was not easy at all. Over 3 days. So yeah, it was really fun and really memorable, and it was quite a surreal experience. But definitely won't be doing that one again. And then yeah, at St. Luke's have been doing everything we can to help get further funds. So for those of you who don't know, that it has been in need of repair. There has been quite a bit of flood damage, so the damage to the roof, the tiles, the boiler's gone, and a few other bits, electrical work needed done, and so it's been quite tough. So been doing a fundraising, and we've had for the last few weeks, we've had the FA Cup there in St. Luke's, so people have been coming and getting the photo taken with that.
I got mine taken.
Did indeed. We've also had a photo exhibition there as well. So people have been coming and having a look there, and that was again part of our goodbye to Goodison. So it's been quite full on. There's been lots of, as you say, we had a big raffle. We've had lots of auctions and stuff going on. So yeah, it's been full on. It's been intense. So the target's 25,000. A big part of that was unfortunately the boiler. We've been a commercial boiler. It needed 15,000 alone for that.
Did you get that from Boxed as on a special deal?
It would have been easy, wouldn't it?
I do have to ask you, Gaz, though, because we did. You know, it's interesting, and I'm not trying to knock the club or anything, but Emma's asked here, don't the club help with St. Luke's upkeep at all, or?
So the club have been really helpful. They have done lots. They have done things like the other week, David Moyes signed some stuff for us to sell. The club gave us signed shirts and stuff. So we are really appreciative for the club's help throughout this. So they've been great. Obviously, they put about my walk. They put that on social media as well to help push. So the club have been great on that side of things.
Don't worry, guys, it's all right. Yeah. I mean, we get technical difficulties all the time on this channel.
So yeah, I've got to praise the club a lot for that. But the responsibility of it doesn't rely on the club. So that's why we're been doing everything we can. Obviously, 25,000 is an awful lot. Under no illusions, obviously, price of everything's gone up. So for anyone to chip in is tough. Ideally, it would have been, 25,000 fans for £1 in each, and we got it there that way. That would have been the ideal way. But we've done everything we can to get there, and so we're at I think 17,600 last I looked. So it's amazing.
It is Elton. Sorry, you're being joined by the ineffable Elton Wellesby, and he's just asking if it's live. It is. Now we could spitball ideas. I mean, Christ, if they're gonna knock down Goodison or parts of it and refit it and rebuild it and have the safety certification and use it for the women's team, surely there'd be some boilers and lots of stuff going there, wouldn't there, Gaz?
Well, we can see what we can do. Say come the end of the season, and we'll have a sit down. It's been me and Richie, two of us have been working throughout this. So once the season's done and everything calms down over the next couple of weeks.
These ideas out, because I know that, I mean, sometimes all it takes is somebody to hear it or to pass it on, because I wouldn't call it fortuitous, because when you do the right thing, not that you need me to say it, but when you do the right thing with your time and your effort and your energy as you do, I mean, walking all that way, I don't want to be disparaging, it's so easy to make a joke, but walking all that way and then having to end up in Wolverhampton, but to be greeted by Ronnie Goodless and the things that they do, and as you say, David Moyes, someone's passed it on and said, David Moyes, what can you do here? Because that's going to be totally separate from the charity and the finances and the donor stuff that goes on at the club, and their ties almost exclusively with Everton in the community, because I understand it gets complicated. I do. But surely there's got to be somebody out there. There's got to be maybe a player who really appreciates that. Maybe even there's got to be a player in the club who's joined Everton because they were drawn with the idea that they've got a church on the grounds.
Yeah, you never know. But no, everyone who has helped so far, it's been massive. It really has. There's been so many people to thank, and it's meant a lot. And say the other bit that's been great is having it on match days at St Luke's, where we've had downstairs open and just watching so many kids come in and lift up the cup and have the photo taken, the big smiles there, and people come around, look at all the photos of Goodison, and people chipping in and helping out. It's been a roller coaster the last few weeks and months, and really grateful for a lot of people for the support. It's been amazing.
Sam, we'll put the link up. So Everton Heritage in more general terms, obviously you're moving, aren't you? So is it by the hot water to see that you've got a new place now, or is that right?
Yeah, it is. We've got a place, so it's opposite the hydraulic tower, and it's there's a bit above the Blue House there. So really grateful for them helping us out and giving us a new home. So it was quite a lot of stress trying to get there, and they've been amazing again. So we're looking forward to getting ourselves set up and get going again.
If I ask you, Gaz, I mean, I'm probably putting you under the spot here. Do you ever feel like, I mean, in some ways, you are a custodian and a representative with the Everton Heritage Society of the culture, the cash, and the repository of all the things that make up Evertonia for the whole range of fans, both in L4, in Liverpool, Merseyside, England, and around the world. I mean, I could look through some stuff, and you've got it in the Heritage Society and the programs and the things that the ruleteros or the connections to friendlies that are played around the globe, and but also the fact that, as John Gotti's just said here, we have Everton in the community 1987. We have the first former players foundation. We have all these historic things that, like, I'm putting you on the spot here, maybe it's a loaded question. Do you ever feel like, Christ, that's a lot to look after, that's a lot to safeguard, and so maybe some big shoes to fill, even though we might not know the names of your predecessors? And how do you feel with that?
I've never looked at it that way. So,
so there you go.
Yeah, so it's probably a lot easier. All I know is, and all I feel is, doing what's right. So there's the bits the Heritage Society have done. They had a fabulous job last season with getting the grave there for George Farmer, and doing that. Obviously, previously helped get ex-players their medals. For that, obviously look to help and push for players who passed away during the war and having them and their families recognised. So that's things that's gone on with the Heritage Society, and that's it's fantastic to be a part of. But me myself personally, I don't look at all that and I feel all that. Obviously, I've done bits for part of Kit Aid and obviously help out on a match day and obviously help raise funds via eBay and things like that. And they've got the Everton Day this Saturday where you can go and have a look, and they're going to open up there at the tower, so you can open our crest, so you can go in there. So there's things like that, but it's all real.
Sorry, tell us about that, please, Gaz, if you don't mind.
So it's Everton and Everton Day. So basically, Everton, I've never actually played in Everton, which when you think about it, is really quite bizarre. So the tower on our crest, there'll be that's the Friends of Everton will be opening it up, so you can actually go and have a look inside it, and
in Prince Rupert's Tower, on Everton Vale.
It is,
what day are you doing that then?
So that's on Saturday. I will have to double check the time. I can't remember. I think it's what 1:30. I will have to double check though. It is on the Heritage Society social media. But yeah, they'll be opening that up, and you can have a look around. And obviously, it is well known that it is an old prison cell, a drunken tower. But there's obviously been lots of theories over the years that there was a tunnel dug under there through to wherever and all that. But you can actually have a look for yourself and see that myth is actually unfounded.
It's a lockup, yeah.
So
that's the road that leads out, that it will take you to Islington at around the back of the Staples and the church there, is it?
It is, yeah.
Sorry, just out of coincidence, maybe a bit too personal. My grandfather was born, if you're coming back towards town from that way, the last few, those big 3-4 story houses on the right, my grandfather was born in one of those.
Amazing. Nice. For Everton. Yeah. So I've seen that it's actually 11:30 that's on, and Ronnie Goodless will be there. As already mentioned, he'll be there at 11:30 talking. So if you're free and want to see a bit of Everton history on this weekend of all weekends, and feel free to come down.
I'm busy, but I'm actually devastated. I've got plans now. But you also received the award from Ronnie, didn't you? Recently.
I did. Yeah, a bit out of the blue, to be honest. So yeah, I was at I had one of his events recently at the Hilton, and went had a couple of drinks and a nice night, and then all of a sudden it's asked for Gaz Jones to go on stage, and then quite a shock when ex-player Gary Jones tried to get on stage as well, and had that awkward bit of asking him to sit down. But yeah, I've obviously keep it by my desk as you would expect. But yeah,
congratulations.
Cheers.
Honestly, wow.
Right, should we move on to what we're actually here to discuss? Before we go on, obviously, I just think I've said it on numerous times since the announcement. I just think it's a bit of now anticlimax, and being brutally honest with you, because Goodison isn't going. I feel that, don't get me wrong, it's brilliant for the women, and absolutely the ideas there, but I just think it's just an anticlimax now. I think everything's been marketed at the goodbye, the fail to Goodison, and it's going to be Goodison's last match, when it's the last Premier League game. Obviously that's important. Obviously it's the last senior men's game, but Goodison will live on. I think I just got used to the idea, because I've been so used to the idea of Goodison actually going, but in a fact, the way it was going to be accessible and stuff like that. And my own...
It's like finding out that like one of your relatives or your partner or something's got terminal cancer, and then they say, "Actually, you're all right."
Well, it's like basically having 133 what was it? I think it said. I think it was
133-year-old dog.
Yeah, they're 133 years being married. They get a divorce, and the wife gets the house. But we are going to move on to family more. I can't wait for that. But I just feel it's a little bit of an anticlimax. Don't get me wrong, I still will be sad, but there's going to be plenty of opportunities to go in whatever shape the new Goodison Park takes. And I wish the ladies all the success in the world and stuff like that. I just envisage that being my last ever time going in that format, and probably I'll go again. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bit, going to Goodison as a football stadium, and it's still going to live on. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to get used to the idea. So anyway, right, let's just move on to my ramblings.
Well, what you'll be doing on Sunday is you're saying goodbye to that tradition that you've had. Obviously, I know, Mabbs, that you've had a season ticket for a number of years, but there's so many people who've had a tradition like yourself of, whether it be a certain pub, whether it be a certain chippy, meeting people at a certain area, all those kind of things that they've had, and that tradition, that's what you're saying goodbye to. I've obviously had people that I've sit beside and I've done for years, and obviously I won't be watching the game with them moving forward. So you're saying goodbye to that. Obviously, if someone says I'm seeing to go over at Goodison, and that part of them, obviously that's what you're saying goodbye to. But in terms of the heritage, obviously, which I'm biased, as we've been talking about before,
yeah,
the heritage is that venue, that stadium, that like arena that's had all that history, that has all those incredible
soaked
moments.
into it.
Yeah, it's woven in there. Obviously, any bit you look about, obviously the Arch Relief, obviously you talk about the World Cup being there in '66. You talk about some of the great memories that play.
I mean, Catterick died there as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
Was it just before? Was it just before the Cup Winners' Cup win in '85? It was, wasn't it?
I don't know that one, unfortunately.
Sorry.
What are they going to do? Are they actually going to knock the stadium down part by part? Though I'm really confused now. Are they going, because from the images wasn't very clear. Do we know that if they're knocking stadium by stadium down, they're going to rebuild it, or they're just going to take the top balcony off, and keep Goodison as it is, as it was, but obviously bar the top stand, or they're actually going to look at redeveloping it?
And
then if they do that, then it isn't Goodison Park to me.
But that's what you're saying about
Andrew
which is why it's not an anticlimax.
Yeah, no, I get it, but then
sorry, I'm going to be. If you're contrarian sometimes, Mabbsy, what do you want it? Do you want them to? Do you want them to keep Goodison Park and then not say goodbye, but then say that they're destroying parts of it, so it won't be Goodison Park? Like I don't know, because it won't be the same. I'm with Gaz. Even if they keep the pitch and base it and replace it in parts, it's not going to be the same, because you're not going to go there. It's not the ritual. It's not. This is where I sit, and this is where everyone around me. It's like doing drill formations every bloody day for 3 or 4 years, and you go, that's the person in front of me, that's behind, that's the...
I get that. I get, I'm going to miss the people that are sitting next to, in front of me, behind, at the side. Absolutely, totally get it. But, what I do, I'm lucky I've seen away matches, so, I get it, that, but I think I had the romantic idea of potentially buying a flat at the new overlooking the centre circle after it's been redeveloped, and not renting it out, just keeping it for me and just going there and reminiscing with like a glass of wine, and and I don't know, I just had that vision for years that I'd do that.
Well,
and now,
what you're saying there is obviously about that reminiscing. You not only do you still have that opportunity to go there with and watch women's game if you so wanted to, you could still have that. But
I'm sorry for interrupting you guys. We've just had a regular Emma point out, because Mabbsy's pointed it out. Like, but and Stevie on the channel makes it. We've all discussed this, and it's the whole point of, can I afford it, but can I live without it, and would I be angry if I didn't have it, and all this kind of
Actually, I reckon I'll probably spent $1,000 on the shite. Probably including the watch, and even probably overestimating that. But yeah, I probably have. It all adds up, and then it's still going to be there. It's still going to be there. It's still going to. I can still go round. I mean, I'm excited. Don't get me wrong, and I think I'll get used to the idea, and I will go to women's games, under 23 games. But I get what you're saying, guys. I get it. No,
but the beauty is, in your scenario where you purchased a flat, there you could go and have a glass of wine and watch.
No, I didn't purchase. I wanted to. That was the
idea.
Yeah,
no, but in that scenario that you said, where but there is that you would be able to go and reminisce there. Whereas now the beauty is that thousands of people can go there. Thousands of kids that never would have got before can now go.
Yeah, but thousands of people will still be able to go to the park that was overlooking the centre circle. You see what I'm saying? I don't understand why the women's can't play at Bramley Moor. It's an absolutely fantastic facility. Just, another major concern I do have, and I probably think I'm a conspiracy theorist here, right? But listen, right? Everton women don't attract enough fans, right? Then this new league rule saying I think you've got to have a minimum of 7,000. Right.
Can I maybe suggest to you that the opportunity to go to Goodison Park is going to try to get people to snowball to go and watch the women?
This is my conspiracy theory. I'm probably wearing a tinfoil hat here, but bear with me. Right. So what happens is, there's another team across the road, isn't there? Right? What happens if, oh, we'll give you such amount of money, let's ground share, right? And then Goodison Park's with Liverpool women, right? No, it could happen to make more money, right? No, but you don't know, right? And then Goodison Park's tarnished like the shit all across the park is. So we just don't learn the lessons, do we? And then just becomes phenomenal, they take over that as well. I don't know. I'm just being a conspiracy theorist through and through.
Well, I don't think we should worry about that conspiracy until it potentially happens.
But do mark my words, this happens, I'm gonna bam.
Okay. Genius, well, if it happens, I'll come back on here and then I'll say you were right and
yeah,
go from there.
Well, I've said it live on the internet now, right? People think there's no real voice in it, and fair enough, I probably do. But it's just me thinking we quite licked Jack to move out because of them last time. They took over our beautiful stadium. Now it's happening again.
Ronnie Briggs was doing time till he done a bunk. Ended up in goal for United, but he couldn't bloody jump. Sorry, Ronnie Briggs. Just forgive me. I'm trying to derail this absolute.
Right, anyway, right. So if you didn't know already, Yann and Gaz are absolute programme fanatics. Don't get it personally myself. They both collect them. Gaz, I know for sure, is a long-term friend of mine, has a spreadsheet. And where are you spreadsheet, Gaz?
Can't believe you're saying this on live.
Yeah,
my dad had. Stop it! Don't shame him.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Got a program collection. So it's every home going back to 1960, and then every away going back to 1970. And then yes, I do have a spreadsheet because especially when you get to programs like in the 60s, you will notice that the front cover is almost exactly identical. So to remember each single one I had, it made it difficult. So the spreadsheet was there to help me. So if I ever did see one and I was like, do I need it or not? I could have a look at the spreadsheet.
Yeah. And so this is how nerdy these two are, right?
And I can't take any credit for mine. I've inherited it from my dad, who has all but a handful which predate World War II. Every program for every major game played at Goodison Park.
Jesus.
Ever. And all of that. I've got ephemera and other things, friendlies, women's games. These are all games that Everton played away, and they're from like the 60s as well. Like Everton reserves against Albion reserves. Like what the this is just the random box. So yeah, it's just crazy.
I'll be texting Gaz your address so he can just come round and nick them all. No, but Gaz is the type of person that loves collecting and never wants to complete it because I know you. That's what you are.
Well, to be fair, what I did do, obviously now got 2 kids in a small flat, so I did promise the missus that once I'd got to those bits of the 60s and 70s, I would stop going backwards and just keep going forward. So obviously I've got like last Saturdays and stuff, and this Sundays to come. But
this feels like a Cilla Black moment where you've been banned from buying programs because it takes up too much time, but I have a glut of resources here that.
Oh,
no, they're not for sale.
No, well, yeah, but
more correspondence. Why has my dad got original correspondence between Everton Football Club and Blackpool? Oh no, wait, like that's bonkers, crazy. Sorry. So
I remember
memories.
while we're talking about correspondences, and this ties in to match memories. So I remember sitting in the Lower Gladys Street, and it was Everton, the infamous FA Cup tie against Tranmere. My dad, honestly, we got beat. Obviously, was it 2-0? Jason Keenan scored one. If I remember, 3-0. And basically, right, okay. So basically, in the car, basically we used to have a joke. If we won, put the radio on. If not, we weren't really allowed to because my dad was like, my dad obviously didn't have the radio on, drove home, didn't speak to mum for 3 days. He was that angry. He was that angry. He actually wrote a letter to complain to Everton about the loss. And my dad just thought from that day, what the fuck am I doing? He actually only got a response from them too, I think. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, he did get a response. But yeah, this segued into correspondence, and I thought that fitted in quite well. Yeah.
So what was the upshot for your dad then?
The upshot was, why are we getting too emotionally involved in Emerson? And he was like, seriously, he still went, but he was just like, I can't believe it let me got that involved, that I ended up writing something about them losing the game. Yeah.
Well, he didn't have Twitter back then, did he?
What?
He didn't have Twitter back then, so.
No, exactly. Imagine that game on Twitter, bloody hell. Yeah. Oh, God.
What the hell is this? Sorry, from the Heritage Society perspective, what is the significance of a 1923 Glentoran Gazette? Anything?
I'm not familiar with that Gazette, unfortunately.
How dare you?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have everything about Harrison's heritage.
Glentoran Recreation Co. Limited. It's 8th of August, 1966. I've got it wrong, 1923. Sorry, forgive me. There we go. It was just a friendly from the 60s. My bad.
Right, guys, if you didn't know, both of us got ADHD.
No. But so Gaz, your memories of Everton. And I mentioned this before, but you started talking about your dad as a segue through there, Mabbsy. So what are the programs? Are the programs a way to serialize and memorialize and immortalize your memories of Everton, or?
Again, you're going way deeper than I'd ever sat down and worked out. It was always just I don't know. It started obviously as a kid, like for most people it does. And then we'd go to the pub with my dad and mates, and we'd sit there. And then after a point, I would just obviously sit there reading the program and obviously look through the players of that time and stuff. And then after that, it just grew and grew. And then it was obviously going to get programs from before I started going and before I was born. But you look through and you see that history of the club.
He just likes
signed on the front by some former players. That is crazy.
Yeah, you look through and you see that history of what the club has, which is why I thought it was important that the club, which they did, keep doing them during the lockdown games, because it was a symbol of where the club was at that time and what's going on in the local area, the history, the whole ethos of the club and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it's however many pages each one, but it details that period of history, which is.
So do you read the program when you get it? Do you take it home and read it? Do you ever read through old ones and is it a way for you to reminisce about like the match and to bring to mind what sort of happened at the time and the what do you find that, because is there a connection for you between the match day experience and the program, or is it just that they're related via Everton?
I don't know. I mean, if I look at a front cover, for most of the last 30, 40 years, straight away I'll be like, oh, it was that game, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, we won then, and oh, I was with so and so then, and he scored, and yeah. So I have all those memories attached to just an image of on the front of a program. But yeah, of course, if you're gonna have as many as I've got, of course they've got to be in order. So obviously every now and again when I sit down and go through and put them in order after I've got new ones, and you go through and it's just like.
Can I borrow you to come round? Because none of these are. I mean, no, yeah, never mind.
Are they still? I'm not going to mention the place, but are these still in the same place, or have you had to move them now?
Me?
No, same place.
Same place. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Sorry.
But yeah, in terms of sorting programs out, obviously we're going to have a big job this summer with the Heritage Society moving everything from St Luke's across to our new home. So certainly,
So is it going to be in the same format as what St Luke's is, like with all the stores, etc.?
Yeah, same concept. Obviously, it'll be a new home to redecorate and put our stamp on it and have the Heritage Society feel about it all. But yeah, it'll, so keep that.
Is Is there? I mean, you have a connection to St Luke's because you say it's the right thing to do, and the club have a connection to it. But is there any? I mean, is there any connection between the Heritage Society and St Luke's other than the program that it coincides on that in that location on match day? Is it something that you're looking to maintain? Just I'm interested to hear about that. If that's I'm hope that viewers are as well.
Yeah,
absolutely. In terms of it being our home, it's been our home. I think I wasn't there at the start, but I believe it's Paul Wharton was a key part in getting the Heritage Society. Apologies if I'm wrong with that, but that was my understanding of getting the Heritage Society in there. But obviously, Heritage Society, the St Luke's is, Everton's history, isn't it? It's Everton's.
Yeah.
So it all stemmed from there. But in terms of what will happen afterwards, I think there's a lot for everyone to work out. I think a lot of people need to work out what the new match day ritual is going to be, and what ties we all keep with, Goodison and local area.
So do you have any clues of what's going to happen after the final whistle then, or you can any spoilers, or
I'm not here to give spoilers away, Mabbs.
Yeah, you are.
No. Can I at least, if you're going to say anything, I'm just going to do this so I don't get banned at all from anything Everton related, Bramley Moore good.
No, we're not. Yann, come back, honestly. Why are you joking? So obviously you do know something then.
I can't tell them Paul McCartney.
No, I don't think he will have Paul McCartney. I think that's a wild. It would be amazing. I'd love it, but I just don't think that's going to happen.
The Bieber?
Is it?
Sorry.
Is it?
I've not been told.
Not been told. Fair enough. Are we getting an exclusive?
I'm not here for spoilers, Mabbs.
Anyway, so come on, right? So what are your Goodison memories? Actually, come on here to actually tell what actually talk about what we're actually meant to be talking about, because Ryan will get me sacked. Ryan will sack me otherwise. So come on, Everton memories.
So my memories of Goodison, I've had a season ticket now since '97, and then since '98 I've been in the same seat. So I'm sat in the paddock. That whole time I've been sat with my dad. So my memories of Everton is, I was thinking about this the other day, that my memories of Everton in the time I've been there, I've gone through junior school, I've gone through secondary school, I've gone through college, I've gone through university, I've left home, I've at one point moved abroad, I've obviously moved back, but I've got married, had kids, but amongst all of that, every second Saturday or second weekend, what it is, I've sat beside my dad in that seat. So my memories of Everton is just the dad at Goodison, you know what I mean? It's just having that, and then it'll just be sat down as like watching the game, and sometimes the game's boring and they'll talk to him more than others, but just having that, and then seeing the same people, and then the bit when you only it's only when you think about it that there's so many people that sit beside around Goodison that I've known for years, and I could spot them and a bit, oh yeah, but you don't know the names. It's just someone who's 4 rows in front, but he's always been there, or to your right or whatever. It's just
like the bloke who comes in a bit wobbly, and then the bloke who always comes with his missus, and then sometimes there's this bloke who comes with his brother. I know it.
I mean, we have one in our row, and he always comes in. He's always late. So he'll always miss the kick-off. He always leaves before the game's finished. He'll always miss the end of the first half. He'll always miss the start of the second, and all that. And then you just know he's going to disrupt you. But yeah, it's just everything. It's like, what else was you doing 30 years ago?
I had a bloke called Kev, and I said, but he sits 2 seats that way to the right, or 2 or 3 seats, and he's always coming after the second half. He sometimes misses a goal. I'm like, Kev, stay down there when he misses the goal. You jinx on it, and he just starts laughing. And he always goes to him. There's always one, and he's replies now, and it's always bloody me. Brilliant, absolutely. I love the banter. I will miss. I know what you're saying, and it's going to be weird, having to get those new relationships working out in the sound or a bit of a prick. You know what I'm saying? But it's a unique opportunity that, you know, I'm moving seats, but I'm quite literally, because Ryan and David are sitting in the same stand, same block, but they're about 3 or 4 rows behind me. And luckily, I've managed to get I'm quite literally sitting behind Ryan now. So he goes, "Don't kick me in the head." I'm like, "I'm going to kick you in the head, Ryan. It's fine." So he's probably going to play that knobhead behind me. But yeah, no, it's all good banter. But what would you say then was your most memorable match at Goodison?
Really quick before I say that, the other bit is that I'm very much aware and how lucky we are, especially at Goodison compared to other grounds, of just how close you are to the pitch. So the amount of times where I know I've managed to shout and obviously give the players support, but I know they can hear that. And I think that's, you've got quite a privileged position that you don't just sit there and do the groans. That there are times when it is there, like, and you're just seeing a player put the ball out of play, and dead easy to be like, but you then got that bit where you can like literally shout, keep your head up, so and so, or keep going Blues or whatever. So I do think that's really unique for Goodison, especially when you know, say West Ham away or something.
Yeah.
Never gonna happen. But
oh god, no, West Ham away is fucking awful stadium. You remember that time I sat by you, and there was that elderly lady at the back. She don't think she's no longer with us now. And I think it was like a European game, and I shouted something, goes, "He's there, you there," and all this, and then gave it. Yeah, remember that? He changed his mind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. The proximity.
Do you remember the Sky did an advert a few years back about, you know, your own match day things, and they were, I think it was Billy Bingham. No, what was not Billy Bingham? Bloody hell! Who was the Evertonian, the old fella that used to walk with his stick to the ground? It was that advert of him walking the ground, and he used to sit across the aisle from me, and I'm pretty sure, unfortunately, time caught up with him. But he was, you know, when that advert was done, he was in his 80s, an old fella, but it was just, it's part of the tapestry of Goodison that I just have these memories of him being huddled. And maybe it wasn't him, but I'm certain it was, because I went up to him and spoke to him one time, and he used to sit at Lower Bullens underneath the stand about halfway, and he'd sit there and he'd have like his hat and his coat all pulled up, and when you could see he was a bit cold and stuff, and you could hear the crowd started going and the chants, and he'd just get his stick and just bang it on the floor in time with it. And I was just like, you never not that little kid at the football wanting to sing along.
Yeah, you know what though? Segueing into, who knew Judy Dench was the Blue?
Yeah,
that was the
She's the patron of. She's the patron of Everton in the community.
You know, again, didn't know that either. I had to Google it and everything. I was like, didn't know she was in Liverpool. It turns out she's not. I think her husband was. But obviously both of you seen that? Farewell to Goodison. I think my room's a bit dusty because I got something in the eye towards the end. Doesn't happen very much in that room, but it's a bit weird.
Nice.
Yeah, just it is going to be sad, but I just think it is sad. But you know, I think they are taking. I think they're taking a little bit of the shine off by announcing it. They could have waited a little bit longer. They didn't have to do the final game and then announce it. I mean, don't understand why it had to be made. That had to be. You could have made it on Monday.
To lighten the mood. I think this might help get the dust out of your eyes. And I laughed at it before as you were making a very serious point, Gaz. I'm ever so sorry. Yeah. But at least you could give us this spoiler. Will Mr. Testicles, Mr. Testicles, Mr. Testicles.
Mr. Testicles?
Oh, Mabbs. So he was a mascot that we had for one game. We played Sunderland, I think it was.
A wonderful cause.
Yeah. Cause. I think it was 2007, but it was all talking about like testicular cancer. And, but yeah, we won 7-1 that day. Never came back.
Well, you bring him back.
We lost Mr. Testicles. No, I can't show this picture.
Have we got a face of Mr. Testicles?
I've just got the idea that Ryan's going to tell you it's too often it's back.
Ryan knows this show goes west when me and Yann are on it, so we get ones all the time. Doesn't do fuck all. Maybe there is some breaking. By the way, though, there is going to be some breaking news for next season. We're in talks with two new people. What should I say? Are we going to say? Are we going to say two new people?
That at that. And what is it? How do I present a screen? I don't know how to do this. All the back end of this has changed, guys. Sorry about this. Slides and PDFs. No, that's not right. My computer. Share screen.
We got Mr. Testicle.
So there are some odd mascots. That's the duck, Deepdale Duck from Preston North End. Okay, lovely, cute.
Who's
Duck.
Mr. Testicle?
We had Mr. Toffee or Dixie, the Everton FC box. I don't know. Okay, we've had some. I don't know.
That's Jockey,
the live bird. Okay, lovely. Let's not skip
over
that.
What's that about? Why are you showing that?
Right, then there was Changi.
Oh God, yeah.
Wasn't there? Changi the elephant. But there's Changi again going crazy. But let's not forget Mr. Testicle.
Absolutely fantastic.
Can't believe you've never seen it, Mabbs.
There you go.
Really don't remember it.
I'm sorry for. I'm not in any way diminishing the wonderful work of raising awareness for testicular cancer, other things, men's health, and talking about it and breaking down the stigma. Absolutely. And Everton and Goodison Park have been great for that. We've had former players, we have the disability team, we've had the veterans, and we promote everything, and it's wonderful, right? But I'm sorry, that is going to be one of the comedic highlights of my time at Goodison Park.
So we should tweet him and ask him to bring back Mr. Testicles for Sunday.
Do you know what? It would be absolutely hilarious if the star, if whoever they booked to, whoever's going to do the main musical entertainment performance thing, if before they went on, they said, "Welcome our main guest," and they just decide to get somebody in a Mr. Testicles costume to take 2 steps out behind the curtain. It just.
Goodison exercise that.
Yeah. They've got to do one last Goodison exercise. I'm sure they've got to do.
Yeah. Do you know what? It would be funny to get Mr. Motivator saying, "Everyone, Operation Goodison exercise. Come on, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Do your bloody." But I mean, haven't we seen some crazy things like the floodlights failing and the sprinklers not coming down, and there's just too many to mention.
Yeah. Remember the Tim Howell goal straight from goal kick
against Bolton late at night, windy, but we lost it 2-1, which was really frustrating to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's your proudest moment associated, at Goodison? What's either proud for your own achievement or proud of your club? I mean, because when you say, because to me, what stands out, one of the most beautiful moments in football was, and just that sort of unity that we have maintained with Sunderland over Bradley Lowry, and just that some things transcend football. You've talked about sitting next to your dad for 27 years, and I sat next to mine for more than 20 years, and that's what you do. And it's just, obviously it's not just about his dad, but he's there in the kit, and it's like it's heartbreaking, right? So I don't know, but what are some of your proudest moments? Proud to be at Goodison, proud to be an Evertonian.
Can I go? I think one of the proudest moments was when the families of the 97 got justice, and our game was highlighted, and obviously we couldn't play that song, and they knew that, but they coined it well, as with He Ain't Heavy is My Brother, and then the way that kicked off, and the whole stadium reacted as they knew they would do, but I just thought, yeah, my fucking club. You know what I mean? My fucking club. And there's lots, but that kind of resonates. I don't know why, but when I hear that song now, I just remember that day completely. And the celebration and the way that in 2014, Ken Wright, love him or hate him, did that speech about Scouse mums. I don't know if you've seen it. He did it at Anfield, and it just resonates. It's true, and you know what? There's a lot of animosity, but yeah, I'm not going to get on the whole Ken Wright thing, so that's going to cause a lot of grief. But
sorry, did I trigger something there because I brought that out?
No, not at all. But there's a lot that that Everton do wrong, but there's a hell of a lot more that Everton do right.
Yeah,
and you know what? We sometimes focus on what the negatives of Everton, but actually, you look at the work that Everton the community does, and it's just like, wow.
Do you know, I have from personal experience, I have first-hand experience and second-hand people confirming to me the number of people in the city of Liverpool that work in positions of charity in their organisations, and I've had lifelong season ticket copites, who I won't reveal any charity of the organisation, but numerous times, they say that, I'm a lifelong Liverpool fan, but just between you, me, and the gatepost, when I have to ask for stuff like that, Liverpool will send an injured first team player and some reserves and might send like a blank check or okay, right, that. And Everton respond with, what do you need? And they send twice as much. Like, do you need a minibus? Do you want a home visit? All that. And yeah, I know it doesn't always get you results, but I'd rather lose doing the right thing than win doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, totally. Well, I was like, go on, guys. What's your standout memory?
In terms of standout, yeah, the bit you mentioned there, when it's obviously you've seen the kids there with the 97, and yeah, that was quite a spine-tingling moment, and the song choice was right, and to say about getting into a conversation about Ken Wright, that individual moment was a touch of class there. But yeah, it's just lots of all week we've been sort of thinking about moments of Goodison, and what's your favorite game, what's your favorite goal, like what's your favorite moment, what's your favorite this, and it's just so much to choose from. It's just to sit down and go and pick through 30 odd years and go, oh, what about that one? Oh, but that one, and you miss it. So yeah, I've been very lucky to some of the stuff I've got to do, and you say about Everton in the community with the sleeps outs and stuff like that, and being able to do things like that. It's just special.
Right. Okay, I can't let this pass without mentioning this, and you probably know what I'm going to say next. You thought you're going to get away with this one. So here is in front of you one of Everton's oldest mascots, aren't you guys?
Yeah.
You knew I was going to bring. You didn't know I was going to bring it up, did you? But yes, go on, tell us about
that. So yeah, in the 2003-04 season.
How old were you?
It was a week before my 17th birthday.
Were you there with like 9 and 10-year-olds?
Even worse. So it was at St James's Park. Their mascot was little Will Shearer, so Alan Shearer's son, and I think I could be wrong, but I think he was 4 at the time. So yeah, it was quite embarrassing. But at the same time, it when like
have you seen?
When you're a kid and your mum tries to put a mum spin on it to try and like be positive about something, you're like, all right. So her one as a kid, when I was sat down, I was like, is it embarrassing this? Her one was like, yeah, but the other mascots aren't going to remember it when they're older. You will. So that was something where stuck with me. Yeah.
So I'm red. Look at him.
Can I just ask? I don't want to promote like any particular program. It's just known in sort of common culture. It's like a trope or thing. Have you seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? where they just beat up the kids, and it's like the size difference. It's like, yeah, I could take a child.
No, but I do have to say, to full on embarrass myself with this. So I've gone on the pitch with Kevin Campbell, and I was like, oh, okay, and I got to take shots at Nigel Martin, and that was quite a really cool experience. But the bit which was truly bring me back to earth moment was where I've been ushered by Campbell to come back to the centre circle, and then the referees had a look at the back of my shirt, and he's done this proper deadpan serious. Is he's told me to get off the pitch and change my shirt because I didn't have a name and number on the back, and I couldn't play. And so Kevin Campbell's kept a straight face, and he's done this really no, ref, he's the mascot, and he's been absolutely sound. But then I looked round, and Lee Carsley and Thomas Gravison are doing basically what we used to be doing, and they're just like on the floor laughing.
Please. Somebody from the club, they have this foot. Please, I want to see this footage. Please.
He does have the photo.
There's a photo somewhere, yeah. Quite a difference, yeah.
We're asking everyone, what was the first match that you attended? Can you remember it?
Yeah, so my first home was Blackburn, 1995. So just as they were about to win the league, and then we battered them. But yeah, they got the win. I remember Alan Shearer picking the ball up full time, after which they had a chant after chant after chant. If they then got the 3 points, and he's like booted the ball out the stadium. Just that relief that he's done that. And then my first away was Sheffield Wednesday '96, and that's when Chelsea scored a hat trick and just tore them to shreds. But it was surreal. But my naivety was, I thought that every game was like that. That told me proper well and truly that I thought, again and again.
His son quite likes Everton as well, doesn't he?
What?
Andrei Kanchelskis' son is really quite fond of Everton as well, isn't he?
He's a massive blue, absolutely massive.
But what does that say to you, that players who are here for a short time, who live international lives and careers around the globe, Kevin Campbell, Amakachi, what does it say? That's what makes me proud of being a Blue, is that he was right. Once Everton touches you, nothing's the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you sat in every part of Goodison then? Have you sat in every stand?
Every stand. The last one to do was a family enclosure, but I did that. Took my little lads, so I managed to do that. Took that one off with him. So, every stand. I did the sleep out. I've been there, helped the 1878 out before a game. I've done the corporate before. I do feel being on the pitch before when the players would come out holding a flag when the supporters groups. So I do feel that I've, accomplished, done everything there.
I've done every stand part of the bar, the top balcony, because not a fucking chance of getting up there ever.
I think I've done everything apart from the upper street end, but I'm sure I might have done that at some point when I was much younger. But that's the only one that I can't recall.
We remember, Yann, we did the box, didn't we? You were the main sponsor at the time. Probably never going to be invited back again. If
I may, without making myself seem like a champagne socialist. Sorry, we might be being joined very briefly by a friend of mine, if that's okay, to drag it on a little bit. I'm just saying. But I'm just going to show you. I don't want to get a lot of stick off anyone, but
what's that?
It was when I experienced the game in the boardroom, and I was late out for kickoff. The camera on Sky Sports has got me coming and standing next to Peter Reid, and it's got me late for kickoff. And the reason I was late for kickoff was because I was waiting for the toilet, and as I'm stood there desperate, hopping up and down, Joe Royle bloody gets in front of me and goes to the bloody toilet, and it's firstly, he's old, he's older than me, and his need will definitely be more than mine. And I'm a young lad at the time. It's all right, but not only that, I can't fucking challenge Joe Royle. I'm sorry, mate. It's just, I'm more inclined to go, would you like me to hold it for you, sir? But Yeah, but like Peter Reid went. I don't know. He chucked me this, and he was like, "Yeah, Joe, fucking decide this for the fucking." It's just, the air was blue. Not only was my shirt blue and everything blue, the air was blue. That was a rather funny moment.
I think we neglected some of the comments, haven't we? And I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not driving at the moment.
So. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
they have tried up a bit. I think people have enjoyed Gaz's.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But just get some comments up, and then we'll wrap it up, I think.
Well, while you're doing that, then I would be remiss when we're talking about Goodison not to say that my little boy's middle name's Goodison. So
that's
right.
True,
okay, some of the comments here. Well, it was Kevin Campbell, was it? Emma's asked what player held your hand.
Yeah, he did. Just shy of 17. He wasn't going to hold my hand, but yeah.
So, do you think we need an honourable? Because was it not this match? Was it not this match? Is this the Just Stop Oil match?
Yes.
Yes. This was the turnaround for Everton a little bit, wasn't it? With the Alex Iwobi goal late on in like 9 minutes into injury time. Yeah, that's why I have like 2 copies of this programme. It was somehow pivotal in Everton's survival. I don't know. It's really strange. I mean, I've got all of them, but I just grabbed it out. That was a moment for me that you can't make up. Like you can, I don't know. There's something about Goodison that makes you think that these things happen at football grounds, but it wouldn't have happened at anywhere or everywhere. It's only somewhere like Goodison that kind of stupid shit can happen.
Well, and then someone just pulls out a knife and he just takes it off him and then gives it back. Like,
me and Mabbs went to a wedding the next day, and then when we were there's a few of us that were seeing ticket holders all talking, and I did say then, I went, all of last night couldn't have happened anywhere else. It just could not have happened at any other stadium. When you think like the red card, the crowd reaction, going down to 10 men, you think about the Just Stop Oil, the like going on, the booing, the reaction, and then like the 99th minute winner and just the chaos. Richarlison had gone off injured, has ran 60 yards to go on, celebrate with the players. It was just surreal.
Do you know the most paradoxical thing as well is the whoever did it, the lad who slid himself up? It's like no respect for football by interrupting the match, but paradoxically, a stroke of footballing genius tactically to do what he did and to delay and disrupt, and we got the win. It's like what is going on here?
Everton caught hero now.
Oh, the dog. The Goodison dog. I don't know. Do you? I think it will be before your time, but my dad used to recall the seat cushions come flying over the top. Like, again, before your time, but part of the Heritage Society or conversations with your dad, do you have any sort of secondhand stuff about that? Because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, well, we had an event on Monday just gone where we had Derek Temple. He was talking about them, and Peter Reid was talking, and the big one was Coventry at Goodison. I believe it was in December of '83. And then the ground was just covered with the cushions, and it was just. But that was a turning point. I think it was 0-0, if I remember right. And yeah, it was just.
And you just couldn't. They wouldn't get their deposits back for the cushions, right?
No. But yeah, again, it's just surreal thing to. Well, just.
I'm sorry. I just. I mean, even
one day why we'll have enough staff to sack us, One day,
yeah. But the thing is, we space out our unprofessionalism. We space out our unprofessionalism in long enough periods that we can't technically be done by any employment. I mean, we're not getting paid, so
yeah, exactly. Then, yeah, to be fair, but you're not getting paid.
Can I ask how many times? Yes, I got hurt in the celebration of the last-minute winner. I believe so did I, and the number of times that I have hit my shins here on those wooden seats, jumping up in absolute rapturous joy. Oh my God, the number, it's like I've developed this phobia now of I can't put my feet up in a place when people are walking around and people walk over my legs because I just get the feeling my legs are going to snap backwards like a giant emu. It's horrific.
Well, but that's the new stadium.
Are you buying your seat then?
Yeah. bought it. Couldn't not really.
Yeah,
I want
same
to
here,
buy
but
my seat, but what I really want is I don't want all the presentation stuff. I don't need the
No.
memorabilia. I have all the memories up here and everywhere. I want the seat because I want the seat, and if there's the opportunity to have it rather than not, I want it, and I want the metal side. And the blokes next to me have said, we don't want it. You can have the metal side. That I want it fitted together, bolted into the bloody concrete in my back garden. That's just what I want.
I've got space in the office where I just want it. I thought it's one sound shirt. I was going to just put it there and then move it to my flat that I was going to buy opposite the centre circle on the balcony. But that's not happening now because we're not fucking knocking it down. Anyway.
Sorry, I've just been reminded. Here's a memory as well that you just don't think about. Not only jumping up and hitting your shins, but then remembering being safe and then having your shins twatted by the person in front, leaping up and having the seat come bang. And then you're like, yes, yes. Oh, ha, ha. It's just relatable. No.
Yeah.
I really only sat in your wooden seat with you, really, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God! Do you know where have you guys got your seats sorted? Do you happy to talk about Bramley Moor, anything like that, briefly?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I've said I'm sitting. I'm on the lower, on the west, and
I'm in the lower on the east.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snap.
Are you lower east? Are you?
Lower east. Yeah.
I'm in line with I'm front row, in line with the edge of the penalty area, like the 18-yard box, the home end.
I'll be the opposite side then. I'm nearer the away end.
Oh, sick.
Are you still with Dad? Yeah.
Yeah.
And your sister and
Yeah, the three of us together. Yeah.
Bloody hell. The crazy issue with tenure. But that you've been sat with your dad for so long that let's not. But it's, you know what? Does it not feel as if sound will carry at Bramley Moor as well?
Well, Dan Mice is a legend. I mean, he's worked out the acoustics, etc. Yeah, I believe him when he says that, but I just think the winters. I'm not looking forward to the winter there. I went to the first test event, and
the wind
walking freezing. It was a joke.
My mum went to that test event because she wanted to just go to Bramley Moor once to say that she'd been and see what it's like, but without knowing if she'd go in future or anything like that. And that it was so cold because obviously cold doesn't just cause that, but it's the cold and the moisture and everything like that. But she was so cold that she was quite badly ill for a week afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah. So it is what it is, but I just think need to look to get thermals and wrap up, because it is going to be cold. But the view and the stadium is just so immense, and the facilities and the wide concourses. There's so many positives. And
do you know what would be lovely?
I tell you what, right? As soon as I get into that ground, I'm going to apologise to everyone around me, because even though what I've said tonight, I will be a blubbering mess from the final whistle. And there's no two ways about it.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say, like, and there shouldn't be any shame about it. Like at the game before, the fans' day, the Ipswich game, and I walk to my seat and I'm just soaking up the atmosphere because I don't want to sit in my seat. I just want to be surrounded. I know it sounds really weird. I just want to be surrounded by that noise for one last time and feel the sunshine and just. And there's this guy filming next to me on his camera, and he's tearing up, and he's turning the camera towards me, and I look at him, and he can see I'm tearing up, and it's just like.
Yeah, it's going to be. It is going to be hard, and it's coming like a fucking freight train. It's like Sunday's nearly here, and that's it for the. We don't, unless you're going to watch another 23s game or a women's game. That's it. It's not your match day routines has got to completely go out the window, and you have to get into a new routine. And you have to find the pub. You're going to have to find, how you get in there, because there's a lot of transport issues. I'm fucking furious over the council, by the way, for that.
Do you know what I really want to do? Can we start a thing?
In February, I applied for my parking permit. Look, I've not got it yet. I'm fuming over it. So I'm just need to email them, because I'm just like, I need my permit.
Any generous philanthropic or maritime related blues out there that I'm a bit of I've got a pirate vibe. If you see me dressed in casual non-stream stuff, I kind of look like a bit of a weird pirate. So if you want to get me any sort of water-based marine transportation, and on match days, I'm happy to run a ferry before kickoff, as long as I get in time to get to my seat across the bloody Mersey from Birkenhead to the. Do you know what? Because just give me a few tinnies and let's sit me in the sun, and Captain Yann will just fine. Just.
Well, they are talking about a ferry, so you can get pissed the other side of the Mersey for probably cheaper, right? Come over and go, and then get the ferry back. Why the fuck not? That's the benefits of living in Birkenhead. I mean, there's got to be some benefits, right?
Oh, in Birkenhead, there's lots of benefits.
Only a joke. People in Birkenhead were only taking.
Yes, only a bloody joke. Fucking hell.
Make it very clear. We'll probably never be welcome back there ever again.
Oh yeah, right. That shit.
Before we alienate any other communities, I think it's time to wrap it up. I don't know what's happening tomorrow, but I'm sure there'll be more brilliant content by someone. But guys, absolutely, can I just say, thanks for your hard work over St. Luke's, and the work you do with the Everton Heritage Society is appreciated by fans, and that Goodison the photo exhibit was brilliant, and the way that's been organised, and you just saw when you walked around, you hear people chatting about St. Luke's and the importance of it. It was really good. So yeah, are the photos still up for sale, or are they all been sold now? Or
cheers for that. No, thank you, it means a lot. Yeah, the photos are for sale. I'll be looking at just finding the time, but yeah, they'll all be up on eBay soon, and if people would like to take home a unique Goodison memory and help the church at the same time, that'll be amazing. So thank you for everyone.
Yeah, no, thank you guys, and
yeah, thank you. You said before, Gaz, and maybe you hadn't thought of it that seriously, and you don't have to take it that seriously. You just do the right thing naturally. And how you get involved and how you get results. And it's evidence from your passion. We all have passions in different ways, but it's evident that you care about the culture and the history and the representation of Everton in various forms of media. And how that represents. So, not that I speak for any fans, but on behalf of those that resonate with what I'm saying or understand, like, thank you for being a custodian of part of our history, of our culture. Thank you for joining us and discussing that, and thank you for all the work that you do for causes that without people like you would be overlooked and would be forgotten to the pages of history and books that only a few program, whatever word you want to use, Mabbsy, program nerds would.
I used a stronger word before. I'm not going to repeat it on the internet.
No, thanks for your kind words. It does mean a lot, Bob. Thank you, and thanks for having me on and supporting the St. Luke's cause.
Well, as I said to Robbie and Wes again, you're more than welcome to come on, even if you've got, if you just want to join us for a chat. You don't have to promote anything or talk about what you're doing. Just come on, and you're more than welcome anytime, and that's if you want to as well. So
thank you. Cheers for that.
Yeah, very well.
On that note, up the fucking toffees.
Yes, up the toffees. I'm sure we've got more content. We've got some potential guests and special stars and everything, but nobody is quite as official. And
did you ever get Charles Stevenson?
Look, if Charles Stevenson did speak to me briefly, but I can no longer message him. Right. And sorry to outshine you here, guy, but if Charles Stevenson wants to come on, doesn't have to display his video. Absolutely, please reach out to me somehow. Send a message or something. I'd love that. I don't know if anybody knows out there, because obviously he hides his identity, but he's a very erudite, very knowledgeable, and very well considered person. So by all means, absolutely. And we'd love to have, Gaz on again, anyone, discussing Everton, your memories. No doubt we will be worked to the bone by Ryan to pump out more content as more paradoxical and confusing stuff is released. Everton to be demolished, Goodison to be relocated to Walton Hall. Walton Hall is going to be built on the Mersey. You know, who bloody knows, right? But
Bromley must be demolished and we're moving back to Goodison.
It was just temporary while they refit Goodison. There we go.
It was actually Mythical's traffic cone, really. It's just a mirage.
It's the TARDIS, yeah. We all crawl inside a traffic cone.
Right. On that note, we really have to go. But thanks for listening. And if you've liked this content, obviously, it really would appreciate to like and subscribe on YouTube or whatever you want to do. But it really does help our algorithm. So, yeah.
Yes.
It is again. Is he again?
No, I'm just going back to it because I know Elton's got a funny sense of humour at times. So I'm just going.
Right.
Christ.
All the credits.
Yes. So many memories, but I can't. You bring this up now, Peter, crying out loud.
Fucking hell.
But on that note, like, yeah, just too many memories. We could do show after show after show because there's tens of thousands of lifetimes soaked into
individual memories, and people think they're insignificant games, but it's special to them.
But on that note, thank you very much, Gaz. You're more than welcome back anytime. We'll let people catch the end of the Bernabeu, the Catalan derby or thingy. But yeah, on that note, it's been a pleasure and thank you.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it to Mabbsy for the swearing.
Up the fucking toffees. Come on.
There we go.
Cheers, Jen.
You're very welcome.